This has completely gotten out of hand. I think the world of rugged phones with this masterpiece has come to an end. This is the 8849 Tank 3, a phone from the brand 8849. We already saw another model from this brand before on the channel, and in this case, they're presenting one of their latest releases, the Tank 3. A phone that, why do I say it has reached its most splendid moment? Well, basically because here we have a phone that weighs 695 grams, no more and no less. It's a 6.79-inch phone that I'm going to show you next because it has some very interesting features, but we can't overlook the fact that its thickness is practically equivalent to that of 3 iPhones. If you want to know it well, let's start the review. As I mentioned, here we have the 8849 Tank 3, a phone that belongs to that range of rugged phones. These phones are very tough. They're covered with rubber on all their edges, and they also come with a big battery. We'll talk about that later, but for now, let's start with its looks. We can't overlook, as I mentioned, its thickness. As you can see, it's almost as thick as 3 iPhone 14 Pros, and it weighs 695 grams. On the side, we have the unlock button, volume buttons on the left side, SIM card slot, also an SD card slot that supports up to 2 TB of memory, and 2 fully customizable buttons through software. On the back, what do we have? Well, we have an LED lamp, light cam, whatever you want to call it. It's a light that's even ready for camping. The brightness of this lamp is impressive. As you can see in the footage, it lights up my room almost like a ceiling light. And then we have a police light, which honestly I don't really understand the use for, but mainly for playing pranks on friends, I think it could be pretty good, along with a camera module on the top. On the bottom, there's a USB-C port for charging up to 120 watts, and on the top, we're gonna have one of its most notable features. A projector with which we'll be able to watch all kinds of content with really good resolution. You'll also see that we have ventilation grills both on the top and on the right side, which are used to cool the projector's lamp. A fan inside will turn on when we power up the projector to cool it down. Let's start by talking about the battery of this device. We have a 23,800 milliamp hour battery. That is practically more than any kind of external battery we can find on the market right now. The typical ones are 10,000 or 20,000 milliamp hours. And what is this useful for? Well, basically to have unlimited battery. We're gonna have a standby battery life of 75 days. Yes, you heard that right. More than 2 months of battery if we leave the phone on standby. My phone, if I leave it on standby, might last about 3 or 4 days at most. This one lasts 75. Then, it promises 38 hours of gaming. To be honest, I haven't been able to test that because when I play for half an hour, I barely use any battery at all. So playing for 38 hours straight is crazy, and doing a test like that is pretty much impossible. That's why I'm telling you, this phone has unlimited battery. Let's discuss the processor next. It keeps up in this area. We have the MediaTek Dimensity 8200, which is a 4 nanometer processor with 8 cores at 3.1 GHz, which is pretty high. In addition, we have 32 GB of RAM, 16 GB of RAM, plus another 16 GB that we can convert from storage, and 512 GB of internal memory, which we can expand up to 2 TB with a micro SD card, as I mentioned at the beginning. But 512 GB is practically what my MacBook has, so unlimited memory. On this phone, everything is unlimited, even the weight. The performance of this phone is close to high-end. We can run almost any game at any resolution and handle all kinds of multitasking at once with those 32 GB of RAM. The phone will handle absolutely everything very smoothly. So at this point, we won't have any issues with any type of application. The screen is 6.79 inches, we have a full HD resolution with 128, and we have some HDR, although it's very little from what I've been able to see with the typical videos I usually look for on YouTube to test the screen. However, regarding the multimedia system, what puts me off the most? The sound. The sound is only mono, it only comes out from the bottom part of the device, and here I would really like to have stereo sound to complete that experience. However, the screen colors and brightness are more than good. At home, I usually keep it at around 40 or 50, and when I go outside, it still looks really good. No complaints here, but it's not exceptional. The phone's features focus on something else, and the screen isn't its strong point, but it holds up well, and we have all those technologies that are already standard in the market. If we're talking about this being a Roger phone, we have to talk about all its durability. We're going to have IP68, so you can submerge the phone 1.5 meters in water for 30 minutes. We can be sure that if we drop it from 1.5 meters, it won't break, and even if we put it in dust, it's completely protected. We're not going to have any problems in this regard. Talking a bit more about the battery, I told you it has 23,800 milliamp hours. To charge this, of course, a regular charger won't do, but it's going to take a long time. The charger that comes with this device is 120 watts, which allows us to charge it to 90% in an hour and a half. That is, with an hour and a half of charging, we can keep the phone on standby for up to 75 days. But that's not all, because we also have reverse charging. What does this mean? It means we can use this device as if it were a portable battery. In other words, we connect a USB to the USB-C port of this device, then connect it to, for example, a video camera, a phone, or anything else, and we'll be able to charge it. So this device works just like a power bank. The camera doesn't fall behind either. We have a very capable rear camera module on the device. And you'll be able to charge it with a portable battery, CC with a USB-C, with a USB-C CCC, with a 50 megapixel camera and an 8 megapixel telephoto lens. In addition, we're going to have a 64 megapixel night vision camera, so we have a fully equipped camera module. And honestly, the cameras haven't disappointed me. I actually like the photos they take, which might not have been expected from a phone like this. However, as you'll see in the examples I've taken, the photo quality is very good. The colors, the representation, the resolution, in general, the photos are very decent. They're not bad at all. What has caught my attention though is that when we try to take a picture of something that needs a lot of definition, like a photo of a computer screen or something like that, the photos, if we don't stay still, the photo turns out blurry, which I don't really understand. Maybe it's because of low indoor lighting, but I've definitely noticed it. I don't know if it's something that could be fixed with software, but there's a small flaw there, but the rest of the photos turn out really well. You'll take great photos in the mountains or countryside with this device. Plus, we really went all out, and now we have a 50 megapixel front camera. It takes decent photos, but don't be fooled by the number of megapixels and think it's going to be the best camera on the market. It has good resolution, but it's nothing extraordinary. As I always tell you, the cameras on these devices are made for video calls, not for doing a photo shoot. As for connectivity, we have the latest. We have 5G and support for 2 SIM cards. We have Android 13 with a pretty non-intrusive customization layer. Honestly, it feels very natural. We're also very well equipped when it comes to satellites, a phone that's made to travel around the world. It's worth mentioning that we have several technologies that are really good. For example, there's an NFC card cloner, so you can store all the NFC cards you use daily on your phone. We also have native FM radio. We don't even need the internet or anything like that. And we also have infrared to control the TV, so this can be our remote, the air conditioner, or anything else that uses infrared. And finally, a toolbox where we have a huge set of tools. We have a pressure gauge, we can activate this rear light, we can turn on the police lights, a sound meter, a level, a compass, a sound warning, well, a lot of things. As you can see, for example, right now, I'm gonna turn on the flashlight. It's the one it has back here, and the light it gives off is really very intense. Lastly, let's focus on the projector, which we had overlooked throughout the whole video. First of all, the projector can be turned on either from the main screen with a widget or from the section you swipe down for notifications and the control panel. Once we activate the projector, the image appears and the distortion is automatically adjusted. That is, if we place the phone at an angle to a wall, it won't look distorted because the phone itself corrects that distortion. This way, it has a panoramic format, typical for video. The image won't look like a trapezoid. Also, if the image doesn't look completely sharp, we have this adjustment, this manual focus on the left side, so we can tweak it slightly until we find the point where the image looks clear on our projector, on the wall. The brightness level of the projector has also surprised me because even now, being in the room with the lights on, in broad daylight, with the window open and everything, I'm able to project something on the wall and see it without having to turn off the lights and leave the whole room in the dark. So as I said, that surprised me, and it's really good. Congratulations on that point. However, what I like least about the projector is that it seems to get quite hot and the cooling system is pretty noisy. So, for example, if we're in bed and we put the phone on the headboard to watch a movie on the ceiling, we'll have to turn the volume up a lot or we'll be hearing that buzzing sound from the fan cooling the projector lamp. That's what I like the least, but it's true that it makes up for it with the good quality we get. And well, if we go outside and want to watch a movie with friends and have good volume, we can connect some external speakers. Or, for example, the Transmart we showed you recently on the channel, and we're going to be able to have a really good experience using our phone. So that's it, guys. This is the video about the 8849 Tank 3, a very special phone. I still need to mention its price. The current price on Amazon is 720 euros. It's an expensive phone, but it offers us features that are very different from what a traditional phone offers, and it might fit what you're looking for. To go to the countryside, to watch movies with friends, so that it's totally resistant and you don't have to worry about breaking the screen or scratching the edge. Anyway, all of this comes together in this Tank 3, which I found to be an impressive phone, but woo, I don't know if it would fit in my pocket. That's it, guys. Share your thoughts on the video and this phone below. In the comments, if you liked it, leave a like if you also found the product interesting. And in the description, we'll leave you more information about the phone and a purchase link to the cheapest site we can find. That said, I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye!